Hello everyone, I'm Charmaine Brown and I am blessed to be here with you. This is Impact Gospel Radio. The program is Mental Health, a Holistic Impact, where as a licensed certified psychotherapist, I look at factors and relationships and events that affect your mental health, whether positively or negatively. I more so focus on the negative part of it, where we can explore strategies to help us to navigate our illness and our distortion. I want you to know that this program is based out of New York, Brooklyn, New York, where the radio station is, and we are trying to go FM, so that's great. There's lots of programs that the radio station has for younger people and older folks as well. I am going to look at how relocation can affect us negatively. As a child, you know, most of you know that I am Jamaican and I have a lot of siblings. I have 6 siblings, so it was 7 of us, and we used to play a lot together. 3 of us as siblings were not most times there together, but the next 4 of us were always playing. We play everywhere, we talk everywhere, we make games of every sort, book games, board game, running around, tree games, everything you can think of, especially outside. But when the evening comes at 6 o'clock, we couldn't be on our veranda, which you call here as a deck, or you call it as what do you call it here? What do you call veranda here? Deck? Is it a deck? You couldn't be out at 6 p.m. You have to be inside. And so when we were inside, we would play all over and do all kind of tricks on our parents, which is our mother. And what happened was that we would have a lookout. There would be one of us that is looking out where our mother is. And so the others, when we were doing bad things like jumping on the bed or getting candies or just doing things, just eating sugar or honey or something that we're not supposed to get in, somebody would be on the lookout, and they would make that secret noise to let the others know that our mother is coming. It would be eek, 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 and they know that our mother is coming, so stop what we're doing so that we may not get into trouble. Why am I telling you this? It forms bond, having a connection with your siblings, and it also forms a certain culture within your home. That culture also spread with your friends who visit. So the culture spread within the home, within the persons who visit you as friends. They take it to their home, build a culture in their home. The homes take their culture into the community and build a bond within the community for support. It also allows us to know that we can talk to other people where we are supported, because it is literally said that one family does not grow a child, the community does grow a child. And where I am from, that culture, that building, that socialization actually build the child, because when someone sees something is not right, they report it. They report it to whoever they need to report it to get that thing done and fixed. Moving from that culture and coming to Canada was a culture shock for me. Culture shock in the sense that there was no more supportive system there, because I was the only one in my family that decided that I want to come to Canada from I was a child, and so I did that. My other siblings, they are in the States or wherever, they are not here. And so when I look back at that, was that a decision that I would have made over? Would I have made a different decision? We will see as we go along. So I came to Canada. I was in Mississauga, and knowing us coming from this community of socialization and happiness and just talking and be friendly, when I was in Mississauga, I remember one day I was going from upstairs where we lived, going downstairs. I took the elevator, and there were about 5-6 people in the elevator, and I was the last one that went into the elevator, and I was so chirpy. and I said good morning, but no one answered. So I turned around because I was in front of those people who were behind me. And I turned around with my chirpy self and said, hello, good morning. You know, and people were looking at me like, are you kidding me? What does she think she's doing? Like, and some persons answer under their breath. But it was strange because I wonder what I did. So that evening, I was telling my cousin that I went into the elevator and I said, good morning, and people were looking at me like I'm crazy. And she said that the culture of some Canadians are, they don't really care if you say good morning. They don't really care if you have manners. They don't really care about that, which was a culture shock for me, because from my country, you have to have manners. They beat it into you. And when I mean beat it into you, they literally beat it into you. So you have to have manners. So what did I do then when I realized that the socialization was not here in this place? It was not in Canada. I have no one to talk to. I have no one to confide in. I have no one to share the excitement with or anything like that. I had to build things for myself. I have to find myself in the marina near the Lake Ontario. I had to be there. I went to Lake Ontario almost every day just to get my mind settled, because I love the water, and that was something that I enjoy doing. I also, if you're in a boat like me where you travel, you don't find someone to talk with, you are having a difficult time just navigating the place, because not only was socialization a problem, because even when you go to the clubs in Jamaica, it would be different. It would be like a family unit just celebrating and just enjoying your time. Here at the club, it's one man for himself. They are all just scattered out, and furthermore, it's in a enclosed building because the country is cold. It's a cold country, and the clubbing is inside the building, and each man is for themselves. They are just separated. You are together in the building, but you are not together. Everybody order what they need. Everybody dancing by themselves. Everybody chit-chatting to themselves. And even if they're chit-chatting to themselves or chit-chatting to others, others don't care. They are just there to enjoy themselves. At the end of that clubbing day, you find your car, or you wait until a taxi comes to take you home because you're not supposed to drink and drive, or you drive yourself, or somebody pick you up. The thing is, you did not socialize. So not having that socialization, coming back home, into your home, into a cold place, you have to either watch TV, you have to entertain yourself within that household. You study. If you are like me, you just study, you watch TV, you read books. I am not one to read book because I think studying a lot don't allow me to read. I don't want to read no more books. I rather watch TV because it take me a long time to read. So what I'm saying is that apart from the socialization lacking from where you are, where you come from, and the temperature not conducive, you are finding it hard, or you might find it hard to just cope. Your mind chatting, you are just not doing a great thing, doing great in your mental health. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at how relocation can affect us in our mental health. Welcome back, everyone. I am Charmaine, and I'm blessed to be here with you today on Impact Gospel Radio, Mental Health, a holistic impact, where we are looking at how relocation can affect your mental health in a negative way and what we can do. And we are on www.mentalhealthhorizon.com. You can send us a comment or whatever you want to say at info@mentalhealthhorizon.com. You can also go on the Impact Gospel Radio website. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We're on a lot of platforms. Share, like, and subscribe and follow us. There are people who are not seeing the videos, and if you're seeing it and you think it's helpful, you can share it if you feel like. I think you should, because some persons, they look like or act like they're doing well, but mentally they are not, and you don't know about this until something goes wrong. Then you said, if you knew. People, they look like they were healthy, they look like they were having it together. Sometimes people put the best out, but they don't have it together. We're talking about relocation and our mental health. Not only is the temperature affecting us compared to where we are from, because some of us are from warm places, and when you come into cold places, it affects you. For instance, when I was coming to Canada, of course I did my research, and I knew it was going to be cold. I knew that I have to get warm clothes. I knew that it would be different. But to tell you the truth, I didn't know to what extent until I came here. It's extremely cold, people. I'm telling you, winter is, for me, winter is between September, the 3rd week, you can see snow, to May of the next year. Because in April, you can see snow. May, you might have snowstorm. June is just warming up. And June is almost near summer. But for me, the winter is just completing. And then from June to the 2nd week in September, that's just summer. To me, there's just winter and summer. There's no fall, there is no spring. And then by September, what? June, July, August, September. To me, it's just 3 months. Everything else is cold. Look, I am in my house and in the studio, and even when I'm in my house, if I'm in the basement, I don't know if the heat goes down or whatever. It's cold. I have to turn my heat up to 80 for me to get some, well, if you're from a warm country, you're going to want to be warm. But what I'm saying is, do your research, see if you want to be there, see if you don't want to be there, because the pictures that you saw with those snowy hills and snowy mountains, they are real. When I used to get those postcards from people abroad, and I used to just laugh and say, oh yeah, but snow, the hill and snowed mountain, they are real. You just have to experience it. Apart from that temperature, you don't want to go. You get isolated. You feel alone. You feel like you have a nostalgic feeling where you are reflecting on things that you left behind, and why you left it behind. Was it a good thing to leave it behind, or was it a bad thing to leave it behind? Would you want to go back behind, and do you have everything to go back there? You do reflection and wonder. You may call a couple people to talk to them, but it might not be the same as being far away from these people. And so what I'm saying to you, you might want to be you can't take it. You want to leave. Wanting to leave is another issue in relocating, because you already relocate from your country to another country. You might relocate from a province to another province, but then you want to relocate from a city that you're in, because the city is not supplying your needs. It's not supplying your socialization. It's not supplying your work, your work goals. It's not supplying the things that you had wanted when you leave where you were leaving to come. It might not even be a peaceful city either. You might be in a city where it's war. it's just violence. It's just scary. People are looking through your window. People might be you're scared to even go to bed because you might be in a situation or in a place where it's not where you are from. Where you are from was more peaceful, and where you find yourself, it does not suit you. You cannot sleep, you cannot eat, you cannot drink because you are worried for your safety. Your security is high priority, but it's not being met. And so that's one of the issues that can cause when we relocate. Relocation, and then now you're in a place where it's not meeting your needs. You want to move. No, you're thinking about a double rent. You're thinking about what they say, first and last rent. You're thinking of a place where it's more quiet, in a more peaceful area. You are thinking of somewhere where you need to be to have that peace of mind. And so you're thinking to move. You're thinking to pack up and move. So what are we going to do? Why are you growling? No growling. No growling. You're thinking to move. How are we going to move? You have to have first and last month rent. And maybe where you are, that rent catch you up if you didn't pack on time. So where you're living, that rent catch you, and then you have to pay first and last. Most places I know they need first and last. And those were years ago. And so I don't know if you need first and last anymore, or first and last and an extra. Plus you have to get truck and movers to move your stuff if you're taking them with you, if you had a lot of stuff with you. Plus you need reference to go to these places. You need 2 references. Most landlord need 2 references. They need thing from your employment. They need employment record. They need your pay stubs. They need all these documents. They need to run criminal record check on you. They need to find out where you were living before. And most times, if you were living in a war area, they don't want to take you into their community because they are looking at you that you're taking the war over to your place. And so they might not give you that place. They want you to have credit check. And so if your credit is not good, they're not going to take you because they're going to be fearful that you might not be able to pay your rent because your credit is bad. You might owe money. And so that's another stress right there. Moving stress. Your commute might be different. You might be presently living near your place of work. Moving away might take you a further away from where you work. So you might not have a car, so you have to either take the bus to commute. Even if you have a car, the gas might be more. Everything is just changing. Is it going to be what you want it? Maybe not. Can you make it what you want? Maybe you can. And so you have to think of all these things when you're relocating. That is going to affect your mental health before you relocate. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we continue how our mental health is affected when we relocate. Let's take a break. I am Charmaine. Welcome back. I am blessed to be here. This is Impact Gospel Radio, mental health, a holistic impact. I looked at, from a psychotherapist point of view, how your mental health is affected by factors, events, or relationship. And so we're looking at how relocation can affect us. You know, sometimes when we are home and we have family that travels and they come and tell us it's hard where they live, and it's difficult. They have to do things that they don't do back home. For instance, if it's snowing, you have to drive into the snowstorm. As long as it's not deemed on the radio as a news that it's dangerous, you have to drive to go to work. You have to take the bus if you don't have a car to go to work. Whether snow, summer, rain, whatever it is, you have to go to work because your bills must be paid. If your bills are not paid, trust me, it's no comparison to being home. I am telling you, it is totally different. At home, you have your fruit trees, you have your produce that you might grow by yourself. You have family and friends where you come into the house and said, Miss May, what you have in the fridge I can drink, or what you have in the pot that I can eat, and you walk into your neighbor's house and go find something to eat and socialize there. It's different in a first world country. People don't socialize like that. You can't walk into somebody's house and say, oh, what you have in the fridge. No, they don't do that. Even if it's their child or children that has moved out of the house and coming to look for them, there's a certain culture that they have. It's different from what we are used to. You must pay your bills if they're going to put you outside. You're going to lose a lot if you don't. So you must work. And if it's cold, you just go to work and come home. And so when you go someplace and you're telling somebody who are desperate to travel, who wants to travel, who have the desire to travel, they say, so if it's not good for you, why are you there? Why don't you come back and give me the opportunity to go? So when they get the opportunity and see what it is like, they start to decline in health. They start to have anxiousness. They start to have depression. They start to regret coming, and they start to say, why didn't you tell me? And you already told them, but they're determined to come. So what I'm saying to you is, when you are placing yourself in another person's country or in another city of your own country, you do the research and see where best for you to go, where it would suit you better. And don't take other people's words for it. Go experience it yourself. I don't even tell people about where I live anymore. If they said they want to experience it, I said, go experience it. If you want to experience it, go find a way to experience it. I'm not going to say anything. So what I'm saying is that you moving and moving all over and having all these anxiety problem. You don't know what to do anymore. You don't have anybody to talk about your problem. And I am telling you, those people who even come to family members in a different country or in a different place of their own country find it stressful as well, because you realize that the family that you once knew, it's not the family anymore, because they are so busy trying to fulfill their family life and their family dreams, where they are so busy working because they have kids, they have a family, and they have themselves to provide for. And so they have to provide for themselves and their family. And so that connection that you had before, it's not there. Even if you are traveling and your parent take you up, or your father and their family member take you as their child up into a new country, you still feel the effect. I'm telling you, I have spoken to maybe a few people who came into their family, like their father take them up, or their mom take them up, or their aunt take them up, and they did not feel that bonding that they had before. They are still stressed. They don't go out. They are feeling anxious. They are depressed. they just lock away themselves and they never regain what they had before. That jovialness, that bonding with other people, that self-expression. Because even self-expression, if I'm expressing myself to a co-worker per se, and I am doing gesturing, and they said, I feel threatened, like, it's a problem. It's a problem. And so relocation might seem like the best thing for you at the time. Yes, it might be the best thing for you at the time, depending on what is going on in your life. Because if you're in a traumatic experiencing trauma, and you want to leave that trauma, relocation might be the best thing for you at the time, until you get yourself all straightened out and trauma free, which will take some time. You coming to a different country, even at your workplace, meeting co-workers can be problematic, because they are expecting more from you. And what do I mean by more from you? What I mean by more from you, they're expecting, as a matter of fact, yourself is expecting to work harder to prove yourself in the workplace. And because you're working harder to prove yourself in the workplace, they expect you to work harder or hard, because they have seen what you are made of. And so they're not going to take anything less, because they see that you work hard and you are good at your job. And so your coworker might slack off on their part of the work and leave the bulk of work on you, because you're faithful to do your job ethics is good, your values are good, your morals are good, and so you don't settle for less. And that can cause stress in your life as well. So all in all, relocation can be stressful. What do we do when we are stressed? Because some of us don't even realize that when we come to a different country or a different place and you're by yourself, it gives you time to grow. Some of us don't even understand the intricacy of being alone and how it enhances self-growth. Because some of us don't know how to grow. We don't know what it takes to grow. Because if you can't spend time with yourself, how are you going to grow? You have to spend time with yourself to grow. You have to spend time learning about yourself to grow. And so maybe learning about yourself in a lonely and isolated place can be better for you and enhance your mental capacity, because it gives you the chance to see and view who you are. And so everybody know that people have good and bad in them. It depends on the situation they find themselves in. It shows what character you're going to put out there, what emotion you're going to put out there. It depends on the situation. And so if you are in a place by yourself, spending time by yourself, you actually can grow. But some of us are afraid of ourselves, are afraid of what we might see. When we come back, we will look at ourselves and how we can grow and just talk. We will continue talking. Let's take a break. Welcome back, everyone. I am Charmaine Brown, and I am blessed to be here with you in the studio, Impact Gospel Radio. This is Mental Health, a holistic impact, and it's good. We are on a lot of social media. Find us, mentalhealthhorizon.com or Impact Gospel Radio. We are at www.mentalhealthhorizon.com. It's a business where it practice different from the rest of businesses. It is a psychotherapy business where people are treated, they are looked at from a holistic point of view, where assessment is done from a nursing perspective, and so it is more unique than other places. You can find us at www.mentalhealthhorizon.com. You can send us and message or comment. You even can book appointments at info@mentalhealthhorizon.com. And don't forget that we are starting our group therapy on October the 17th, 2023 at 7 p.m. That's going to be something. The price is $29.99. And for the first 50 people, the minimum in the group is 10 people, and it's good because we all know that during the COVID, a lot of finances have been affected, and so a lot of people don't have the money to invest in their mental health, and so looking at it from that perspective, because trust me, psychotherapists and psychotherapy, they're expensive, very expensive. So that's a deal for you all. We are everywhere. Just like, share, and subscribe and follow. Let's continue with spending time and relocation. As I was saying, spending time with ourselves can be very beneficial, but people are afraid of what they might see. You know, when people experience trauma, other people hurt you, you have been in some brawl, you have been in some accident, you have been in some contention, you have been in some situation that you're afraid to talk about, or you're afraid to look at yourself. You see yourself as nothing, you see yourself as unworthy. You see yourself as just nothing. And so spending time by yourself will bring that emotion where you're afraid to look at you, to see who you are, to examine yourself, to assess who you really are, the good thing about you and the bad thing about you, and to draw a conclusion from that and find a place where you are comfortable with yourself and see how you deal with that. For instance, you have been in a traumatic situation and you feel hopeless, unworthy, you lack faith, you lack hope, you lack friends, you lack communication, you lack a sense of expressing what happened. You don't know who to turn to tell this secret that you might have. And it might be too dark for you to share it because you're ashamed, you are afraid, you are guilty, and you feel like it's your problem and no one else. You move to a different country or a different part of your country, different part of the city to live. But your socialization, because when you're going through all this darkness, what happened is that you used to socialize to forget. You used to do things, put things in your body, do things to forget what was happening. But now you are in a different place. These things are not accessible to you. You cannot get what you need to forget what happened. And so you are forced to spend time with yourself And so with this time that you're spending with yourself, you are forced to reflect on what happened. You might find something that you don't like. You might find something that you like. What would you do? Ask yourself, what would you do? Because what I know is that learning about who you are, the good part and the bad part that makes you up, can allow you to find that comfort that you are looking for. You fighting with the darkness, you fighting with the trauma, you fighting with all that things that happen can cause additional conflict in your life, in yourself. Additional conflict lead to disappointment. Additional conflict lead to additional trauma, because now it is setting into you. You're already re-traumatized. You're re-traumatizing yourself with all the traumas that happen. And so it makes it even worse. You cannot sleep. You're thinking about it. You cannot eat. You don't know how to block this out. You don't know who to talk with. What do? You put it out there. You find pieces. You open your puzzle. You find pieces. You take all this thing that is bothering you and lay it down like a puzzle. You look at these things and see where they belong. What needs to stay and what needs to go. It's like packing up an old house. It's like you're packing up an old house. You go through your closet, you go through your cupboards, you go through your spaces and look for the corrosion, look for the old trash, you look for all these old stuff, and you put them in a box and you take them to the dump and you throw them away. That's exactly what you do in your life. You open your life like a book and you put everything, you look at them, what belong and what don't belong. Where was the hurt? Where is not the hurt? How can you put back these pieces together as a puzzle? Look at them, examine them, assess them, analyze them in bits and pieces. Analyze each part of it in bits and pieces and see how it makes you feel. The emotion that you feel when you look at that. Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you disgusted? All the emotion that you feel, you look at them in these pieces. And then when you examine each part of your puzzle, each part of your life, you try to put them back together in a place where they hold, where they can fit. The brokenness can fit. Even if you have to glue up the brokenness, if you want that piece to glue in it. If you don't want the piece to glue in, you don't have to glue in. You don't have to keep it there. You leave it. Let it go. Put back the pieces where you feel comfortable with that person. You feel comfortable with everything that happens and everything that would have happened and could have happened. You feel comfortable and you want to enjoy that part of you. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to close up this. Let's take a break. Welcome back, everyone. I am Charmaine Brown, and I am blessed to be here with you. Thank you for having me in your space. I want to welcome all those persons who normally view us. Welcome. We're happy to have you. And those who are just visiting for the first time, this is a program, an Impact Gospel Radio, Mental Health, a holistic impact, where as a licensed certified psychotherapist, I talk about anything that affects your mental health, whether positively or negatively, and how we can navigate ourselves within the world where we are at peace with ourselves, with our family, with our neighbors, with people around us. And that's what we look at. I'm just going to recap what we were saying. I was saying to you that coming from a place where you were comfortable, your own town, your own country, your own culture within your house, that friendliness, that culture, because it depends on the house that you were in. My household was happy. Some people's household not happy. So it depends. Coming from a happy household into a different country where your needs are not met socially, your needs are not met according to the temperature, your needs are not met according to employment, your needs are not met, and so you have to find ways to allow those needs to be met, where you spend time with yourself to know what to do, to watch TV, to read, to talk on the phone with other people, to communicate away from home to those people who were friends with you, because knowing that whenever you were, wherever you were socializing, and now you are not anymore, so you have to buy a card or credit card or get a phone to talk to these people. It can put more stress on your life, causing a negative effect where you cannot eat or sleep, where you are ruminating about all the problems that you are facing, comparing what you had with what you had with what you are experiencing, and how to fix it. And I was saying that as individuals, we are sometimes forced to be with ourselves in our own space. And with that, it allows us to look at our life and see where we are happy, where we are sad, what happened in our life that were traumatic, what didn't happen. Pull the puzzle apart, look at them in each section, analyze them, put them back together, and find a place where you are comfortable viewing yourself. Whatever you need to throw away, you need to throw away. Because you know what, people? Sometimes when a glass bottle falls and it's scattered and break, and you want to glue it back, sometimes you don't find the whole pieces to put back, but you still glue it back because you like it and you want it. It's just like our lives. When something happens in our lives and we don't want that part in our lives, then we will take it out. This podcast is for people who want to be whole, who are working on a continuum basis to be whole. This podcast is not for people who are fighting with themselves, who don't want to change, who don't realize that they must change. This podcast is for people who know that they must change and want the best for themselves, and is willing to change. This is where you take me into your space, because you're willing to change. We are closing off Mental Health, a holistic impact. www.mentalhealthhorizon.com. Send us a comment, info@mentalhealthhorizon.com. Bye.
Impact Gospel Radio and Mental Health Horizon. All information posted or aired is merely for educational purposes and is not a substitute for seeking further professional advice. While the information aired has been verified to the best of our abilities, we cannot guarantee there are no mistakes or errors. We reserve the right to change this policy at any time. If you want to stay up to date with the latest mental health information, please visit our website at www.mentalhealthhorizon.com, book an appointment at info@mentalhealthhorizon.com, or tune into the broadcast every Monday evening at 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time.